The Citizen and shorter to Pittman, 5-4. Pittman again, trying to get Teresa. Step in left after the...
All right, we got James, Knucklehead, Dennis up in the podcast. Hey, man, I just want to tell you, thank you for representing Montana on a card where you were the only Montana boy to come show up and put it down, man.
Oh, yeah.
We got highlight reels going off right now.
Yes, sir. Yes,
How you feeling?
Good, great, man. I'm feeling...
How's the body?
Good. I feel really good. I have a little bit of damage to my hand, but just a sprain on my thumb.
So it's normal. I mean, the normal bare knuckle injuries.
Bare knuckle, yeah.
No matter what, you're going to have that injury.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So how's the family? How's life?
Good. Good. I get to get my son Bryson here, in 2 weeks. I get him for the first time. He's
nice.
8 years old.
8 years old, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. That's going to be like, and so like kind of a collective system of just finally getting into his life or just struggles with his mother.
I've been part of it. Well, they lived in Texas for a long time.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, he had no choice.
Yeah. And then with money situation and vehicle, situation, all that shit. They live in Billings, though, but
finally.
Pick them
Cool.
up and,
That's going to be awesome,
man. Yeah.
That's going to change your whole fight game right there.
Oh, yeah.
Kids can make they can make you or break you. That's what I've always noticed with mine. When I had my first daughter, that's when I, started getting a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
But the boys are, you want to be, the toughest dad ever to show your, boys.
Yeah.
Not to say you don't with your daughters either, but, it was always, they made me soft, I think is what happened to me with them.
Yeah, that boys want to box.
Yeah.
And do all that kind of stuff.
How's your boy already? I mean, does he know you're a fighter?
Wrestling and all that. He's trying to impress me. Yeah. I'm a fighter. So
Did you watch your last fight?
I'm pretty sure. I'll have to ask his mom. I haven't talked to him about it yet.
You have to start paying for that app for him.
yeah. He gets all my posters, all the signed posters.
Do you?
Yeah, he
cool.
gets all those. So
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Because, he could break it at school. He can tell all his friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the best thing ever for a kid like that.
Yeah.
Having a professional
I know. Kids
fighter.
lie about their dads say they're fighters. You just have to.
I remember when I was growing up, I never knew my father, and I would always tell kids would make fun of me at school. And I'd always be like, y'all don't even know. My father's Hulk Hogan. And because Hulk Hogan was big then when I was a kid, you know what I mean? And I wanted to look cool and tough, and I was like, yeah, Hulk Hogan's my dad. And kids would all laugh, yeah, whatever, dude. He's got blonde hair. I'm like, so? My mom's got dark hair.
Yeah. I was raised by a boxer with my stepdad, so I always kind of looked up to him. He's from here in Great Falls. He's a Golden Gloves.
Who's that?
Out here. His name is Eric Bailey. He's actually Justice of the Peace right now.
Oh, okay.
And he's Todd Foster's cousin.
Oh, wow.
Todd Foster. Yeah.
See, I grew up with Todd, too. My first gym, when I first started going, I was 8 years old, and I started going to the Little Russell School. I don't know if anybody remembers that at Great Falls. Some of us around Great Falls might remember that. But that was Todd's first gym.
Oh.
And then, so, it kind of broke off from there, and, we started having the gym down at the Gibson Park, which became Electric City. We had Chipper Martell, Emmett Murphy as our coaches down there. And that's kind of who I started with and going down there and stuff like that.
Okay.
Where did you start at?
Honestly, I was a couple years out of prison. I'd gotten myself kind of into trouble working in the oil field, and I started working in the kitchen again in Shelby, Montana. And that summer, I'd gotten into 6 different barroom brawls. It was just, I freaking knocked the guys out pretty much.
So you knew.
I was like, I am going to get myself into trouble again. I need to find something to do. But there's nothing up there. But then my boss's son he was it was a week or two away, was the 4th of July Shoto smoker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember
dude,
those.
can you get me in on that? And no training whatsoever, nothing like that. And 2 weeks later was my first one, and I won in 28 seconds.
Yeah, you've always had some highlight knockout reels. They're usually always first round, second round. I've always watched it in MMA. And so when I heard you were getting into bare knuckle, I was like, oh my God, this is perfect for James. Because this is the absolute perfect. Because you throw from your hip, bro. You ain't there. You ain't there to jab somebody, bro. You were there to take their fucking head off. And I love that about you. So every time I seen you on the card, I was like, even if I wasn't gonna go, I go. You know what I mean? Even if I wasn't on the card, I was still gonna go.
Yeah.
And so I've always watched your fights. I've always been, impressed. I've seen you get knocked out.
Yeah.
I've seen you knock a lot of people out.
Yeah.
You were what was a 170 champion for Fusion?
Yeah. I beat Andrew Huckabee in 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, he can't be knocked out. He's got 50 Muay Thai and kickboxing matches. And,
he was a tough kid.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, and you put him the hell out.
It was raining that day. I was cold.
Yeah, that was at the Centene Stadium, right?
Yeah. And he popped me once, good jab in the nose, and I was like, I just bit down on my mouthpiece, and I said, let's get it.
Yep, I remember that fight because I was supposed to fight on the same card as you guys, and they wouldn't pass I couldn't pass medicals. I was having heart conditions and problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I ended up having have a stent put in. I had a heart attack that I think it was 1 year after that fight I had a heart attack. Weirdly enough, I just have a shitty heart, I guess.
Yeah, that sucks.
Good heart to fight, but I just never had a good heart in like real life.
Right.
Yeah, just shit. So after winning that title, you defended it. What? How many times?
I don't think I did defend that. Actually, I was supposed to defend it against.
They stripped you, didn't they?
Danny
Is that how that went?
And then I had an eye poke before. I had my eye was damaged when I fought DeRozier.
Oh, okay.
Because he won by knockout. Technically,
that was
it didn't really knock me out, but his shin freaking split my head open.
Yeah, that's
right. The top of his, it was like his knee, shin. It was like the right top of his shin. It was just barely. If it was because he had been warned a few times throwing knees. We both were throwing knees to the head, but as amateur.
Yep.
And he had been warned, but it was it ended up being just the very top of his shin. If it had been in his knee, it would have probably been a disqualification. But I got poked really bad, and it damaged my eye. And it kept sloughing off, and even when I'd go to like spar and training and all that, it just rolling around with somebody, and it would just get rubbed. Even just rubbing it in the morning too much, it would slough off, and I wouldn't be able to see for like 5 days. I'd have to take off of work, and it would just I couldn't be able to open up either eye.
That always sucks.
Dude, yeah, it was terrible. So I pulled the muscle in my back, too, really bad, and I was just like, fuck.
See, the back things.
Yeah, and then I ended up moving to Stockett outside of Great Falls to help my mom because she had brain surgery. So I moved in with her, and me and my wife at the time, ex-wife now, moved there, and I just gave up fighting.
Yeah.
Until that Joe opened up his gym.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because you just disappeared, and then I'd heard that you were cooking out there at the American. And
yeah, the American.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, cool. Like, at least he's still around.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he moved or some of that kind of situation came up for you. So I was always hoping that I'd see you on a card again. You know what I mean? And then when you pop back up, I was like, hell yeah! All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm still young. And I still got fire in my belly.
Oh, absolutely. How old are you now?
34.
34. So you got a good 4 years of just pumping it. We hit like 38. It seems like that's our
Yeah, well, I got into it really late too. Because I went to prison when I was 18 for assault with a weapon. They hit a guy over the head with a beer bottle. I ended up doing 7 years for it.
God.
Yeah, I was stupid. Bunch of time in the hole, I was fucking Knucklehead. That's why I got the
tattoo.
On the back of my head. Yeah. I was a real Knucklehead in there. But after I had my first that smoker fight, I just started. I guess kept lifting weights. I'd run a little bit, but I shadow box. But now I would just look up shit on YouTube. So I had nobody up there that my sparring partner. And my brother had done jiu-jitsu for like 6 months before when Eddie Bravo had the
10th Planet.
Yeah, up here in Great Falls.
Yep.
He did classes there for 6 months. So he knew the basics.
Yeah.
And showed me, and we grew up tough. So
See?
And I needed to do something, otherwise I knew I was gonna have that. I just got to keep getting into fights and getting into trouble and going back to prison. So I was like, I need to
do it in the ring.
Yeah.
Earn some titles.
There, yeah.
Make some money.
And they say if you get in a fight on the outside, that you'll get in trouble or they'll suspend you. So that gives you more reason not to.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, and the one myth that I always just laugh about, especially in Montana, I'll be talking to some of these guys and they're like, I have registered hands.
Oh.
Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Isn't it the stupidest thing ever? We're both professional fighters. Have you ever registered your hands?
No, you
absolutely not.
You have to register with the commission and get your federal ID.
Yeah.
But you don't register your hands as a deadly weapon.
No, and in Montana we don't have a commission anyway.
If you got into a fight as a fighter, you just get like anyone else, like a simple assault or whatever, unless you kept beating the shit out of them, you would get aggravated assault just like you would if you were just anybody.
Exactly. It's a disorderly conduct.
It doesn't add.
It doesn't at all. I always laugh every time I always hear that. I'm always like, this guy never fought before. Like every time I hear that, that's the first thing I think. Yep. Fucking lie, motherfucker.
That's funny. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and break into some breaking news that's been going around right now. I think it's hilarious to kind of see that it's out there, you know what I mean? Because it's been hushed for a long time. I've heard it, just nobody's ever exposed it. But on social media, you put it out there, you said it, and then he broke himself. Louis Lopez, the So, I don't care what anybody thinks on how it's going to be looked upon other people, but I can already tell how it's going to be looked upon. It's a 16-year-old girl.
Yep.
And so the story really breaks as he took her from the class, right?
Yeah, she originally was taking classes there, yeah.
So
and when she didn't show up, like she took a break from the classes, apparently, because Joe is the one that told me this, that Louis was messaging her and her mom, oh, where's she been? Why hasn't she been showing up to class? This is before he got with her, you know, but yeah, still being like grooming, it's called.
No, that's absolutely grooming. Yeah. And then they started living together. Weren't they even living together at some point?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I mean, you know, I'm sure, you know, I mean, obviously it was consent, like the parents were letting it happen, you know, which I wasn't saying that, you know, he was charged with any kind of sexual offense or anything like that.
No, of course not.
But, you know, and
Montana's
how old, you know, you're over 30 and you're, you know, just because it's, you know, the, you know, consent laws here, like, doesn't make it right.
I mean, I have a 16-year-old daughter, and if my 16-year-old daughter came home and said, yeah, I'm dating a 30-something-year-old man, you know what I mean? Like,
the coach at the
especially my daughter's coach that I'm paying for him to not be doing some shit like that.
Yeah, this is what you're paying him to, for her to avoid and, like, to be able to defend against. Yeah.
You know, and that's the creepiest part of it. That was what, like, got to my soul, and it was like, God damn it! Like you're supposed to be a coach, a mentor, somebody to look upon, and then you took advantage of that by grooming. You know, and so not 100. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, and with that too, like I don't go out now. Like I support 100% all Montana fighters. You know that support me, and that shit was way in the past. I didn't even give a fuck. I don't even give a fuck about Louis. But for some reason, he wanted to fucking open his mouth about me. We're not in the same weight class. We used to be friends.
Yeah.
You know, until I found out what kind of person he was.
Yep.
You know, and
it changes the friendship because we have different. You know, what I mean, like when you have different mottos, morals, you know. Yeah. You just can't intermingle with that.
Yeah, and if he wouldn't have said anything about me, if he wouldn't have talked shit, he would not be having these problems right now because he wouldn't open his mouth. Like, all right, motherfucker, you want to sit there and talk shit? Say I faked my injury? I'm going to give these people a little bit of truth about Louis fucking El Pedo fucking Lopez.
And see, and that was like the saddest thing, too, is like, so he sees you win, and then he wants to talk shit.
Yeah, well, he was talking shit before it, too. Because my girlfriend's like, are you friends with Louis on Facebook? I was like, no, we've got each other blocked. I you know, because he always tries to get a hold of me and talk shit anyway, you know, so I just had to block him.
Yep.
And she's like, well, never mind. And I was like, what? She's like, no, just don't even think about it till after the fight. I said, okay. So as soon as after I knocked that dude out, we're laying in a hotel room. I was like, so what'd he say?
Yeah. And then finally got the truth.
Yeah, what'd he say? And then I stewed on it for a couple days. I was like, all right, dude, you want to fucking, you know?
Post some shit, saying it's fake injury. Now, with your injury, like, since we're in that category, what happened to that BK? Because a lot of people, they never explained it, and this is the thing with the fight game.
Yeah, I know.
This is the shittiest part of it.
They even said, too, like, afterwards, like, the press conference, said something about, like, rolled my ankle or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was, so I was warmed up, ready to go. I was out. They pulled me back, and you have to walk around with commission the whole time after you're checked in by the doctors. I was ready to go. I always take a nap until it's about 3 or 4 fights away from me, or I'll lay there with my eyes closed. Then I get my shit on and I get warmed up. I was warmed up and ready. I was behind the dark curtains there. Yep. And it was on top of, it was at the Scope Arena, and it was on top of it was like an ice hockey rink. And whatever cover they had on top of it was some weird plastic cover, was sweating. And there was condensation and water everywhere. Yeah. I felt like I stepped on some cords, but I was behind curtains. Super dark, I was hopping around, and I felt like I stepped on something, and my right leg shot out from underneath me. And I did the frickin' splits like Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I felt like, oh, fuck, I got up, and then right away the commission's like, oh, shit, you know, because I fucking cried out a little bit. I was like, oh, fuck. And I was, you know, and my buddy Egan Black, he was there with me. I'm like, I'm good. And I started hopping around, and then I started hopping around, and I just feel you know, when it happened, I felt 3 pops go up my hamstring and up into my lower back. It's like 3 different, it's like pop, 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 like real bad. And I was like, okay, fuck. Probably fucking tore my hamstring, I'll just shake it off. I started hopping around, and my knee started buckling. When I was hopping around, I was like, shit. And then the commissioner already called the doctor over. Yep. And all that. And they're like, oh, what happened? I was like, no, I'm fine. You know, all that. And they're like, okay. And the commissioner's like, what's what happened? You know, oh, you got it. And he yelled out. He's like, okay. And the doctor started making me go through, you know, a couple of things, you know, walking on the line, you know, or on, you know, walking on the straight line, doing all that. And I think you could tell that I was, you know, probably holding back, wincing. And, you know, I was trying not to wince at all. You know, I was doing straight, you know, the poker face. And
it's hard with
I was probably limping a little bit because then when he had me hop on my right leg, it was when, you know, I was like, no, let me try it again. And I went to go do it again. And and he's like, you're not, sorry, you can't.
That sucks.
Yeah, I started actually, you know, I don't like to admit it, but I started crying. It's
hey, man.
There. I was like, fuck.
All of us fighters.
I thought that was my chance, you know. I was against the dude that was in the UFC. He had 6 UFC fights. And somebody I watched growing up fighting. And that was somebody I we studied for, and I was gonna knock that motherfucker out.
I know, I was ready for that fight for you too.
I was ready for his uppercut. That's all he had is his little uppercut, and he's got a nice uppercut. But I have a couple different counters for that rear uppercut.
And you hit hard, man.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter.
Especially if I stay in my moment too. I get sometimes you guys watch me. I get overzealous and
that
just
first
start
round.
swinging.
That first round of your last one, yeah, you were just getting a little out of your realm. You were getting a little too open. When I saw you fall down, I was like, oh shit. Because mentally it can break you. It can be a slip, and you could break yourself.
Yeah, and it taught me really. It wasn't even that. It was more of a flash knockdown. But I was switching my hips. I think weight over on my hips when I was going, and it was midair when he punched me. And it caught, and I was tripping over my own feet right there too.
Yep, I saw
he kind of swarmed me a little bit, so he got me when I got hit. And I was like, okay, and I thought to myself, I was like, okay, don't get up quick. So I was told by my old coach that when you get hit like that, you take the 8 count. Yep. Come to your knee. Yep. Start counting to yourself. Make sure because you don't want to get up right away and start doing the chicken dance like how my guy did.
Because it looks horrible. Yeah. Yep.
Look at my Gumby. Yeah. And so I counted to 4. I should have went even slower. And then I was like, all right, act good, act straight to the ref. And then I was like, okay, act like you're hurt to this dude. Yep. And then the bell went off and he just stuck his hand out and I gave him this little high five. I'm like, ooh. But I could tell, man, the look in his eye, because he was getting cocky before, and I'm like, all right, smiling, just thinking to myself, I can't wait to wipe the smirk off your face. And when he got one time when he got in the ring, and it was game time, I was looking at him like, it's fucking go time, motherfucker. And every time he looked up at me, he'd look away. I was like, oh, good. I got you. I got your number. Yep. I got your number already. And he went to give me the fist bump. I slapped his hand, kind of like a little aggressively, and put my hands up, and I'm like, had that 1,000-yard stare, just looking straight through his chest. I'm like, let's get it.
So you knew from the start of that second round you had it.
Yeah.
You already broke him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I could tell.
Because they were feeding you a giant. They really were. His name was huge. Yeah, his name was
16-3 now.
See? They were really like, we'll put him in.
Yeah, they thought they was feeding him a tomato.
Yeah.
That's why I know tomato, man.
You made spaghetti sauce out of that boy. No, that was awesome, man. And everything has been your picture. That's all I've seen out of the BK. Their thumbnail is your guys', your knockout reel. Just that little sun. That picture's perfect, man. That's an absolute.
Well, I know my fans that watch me, when I really focus and I'm in the moment, I'm unstoppable, and my power will put anybody out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
You've time and time shown that.
Yeah.
And you got so much heart and that's always a great thing about watching you fight is every time you go out there, it's knockout or get knocked out. You've never laid on the ground and played it off just to get out of a fight. Never seen that out of you. So when I heard about the injury thing, I knew for sure it wasn't you being scared. I knew
everyone that actually knew me knew.
Yeah,
knew
for sure
that something fucked up happened. It was a freak accident, kind of deal.
So shit happens.
Shit happens, yeah.
And
I'm glad they gave me another shot. I got a good management team.
That's really cool. So with your new management team, how's everything working with them? Is it comfortable so other fighters know? I mean, want to give them a shout out real quick, just so
CNC management, man, Kerry and Carlos, Leon, huge shout out to them. They're really good people. Really,
they got you back in the game.
Yeah.
Do they work with you well? I mean,
they work with me well and
keep in touch.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah, they keep in touch and always, they make sure I'm doing all right, and they always make sure I got a fight coming up. Good. That's their main. That's the main thing too. They got me in the BKFC when I was told by. Certain someone, that fucking Mr. Joe Riggs that I would never fight in the BKFC again. Yeah. Just because I, was leaving his gym and told him I didn't trust him.
And we can get into that a little bit too, since we're on that topic. So when you came down back and started to actually get back into fighting after being a 170 champ for MMA for Fusion, and you saw the BK was going to be coming and stuff like that. He was running his own bare knuckles and stuff like that. So you entered his gym as just the far-fetching, hindsight of this is a legend. You know what I mean? This is, and he's an absolute legend.
He was one of my favorite fighters of all time. As a kid growing up, he's 6 years older than me is all, but he started fighting when he was professionally when he was 16. He fought for the title against Matt Hughes when he was 19.
I know, that's crazy.
It's fucking insane.
It is.
And he's legit fucking,
He's a legend.
He's
fought in every organization.
He knows fucking everything there is to know about fucking combat sports.
Yeah, the guys. I mean, and it sucks because it seems like a lot of the fighters that are really worth training, and this is the hard part to say is they seem to drift away from him.
Yeah.
You know, what is the problem in Joe's gym? Like,
you know, I think that I don't. You know, it's hard to say. You know, I don't know. Bad mouth him too bad just because.
No, I'm not asking for bad mouth.
Yeah, no, I know. But I mean, it's hard to talk about it without bad mouthing. You know,
I get
because
you.
how he's
I get you.
kind of runs and how he's used people. You know, and how he used my buddy Deontay. You know, for a long time too, and you know he's fucking. You know, I hate to pull his cover, but I don't think he really cares me saying he's a racist. Most people that actually know him know he's a he's a pretty bad racist. Talks shit about every fucking buddy, everybody. I'm sure he talks. You know. Even when I was part of his gym, that's one of the reasons I left, because people were saying he was talking shit about me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, fuck, I thought I was one of his guys.
That sucks.
Yeah. And he's like, wants you to, you know, like, oh, you have to trust your coach, you know, like, wholeheartedly more than you trust anyone. It's like, yeah, you do. And you make it really fucking hard to do that.
Yeah. You know, like, the key point was, like, when Kai Stewart was there, he had to end up leaving, you know?
Yeah, that was before I showed up.
Was it before?
Yeah,
okay.
I heard that, like, Kai stole a belt and all that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Hanging around with Kai and stuff. Now, I haven't really got into it much with him. I mentioned, you know, that a little bit, and you know, he just kind of laughs it off. You know?
That's all I've heard from him too. It's bullshit, but
he wouldn't do that shit.
Yeah, and so it sucks that the biggest potential fighters coming out of Great Falls, Montana, have trained with him, didn't get to stay with him due to just shit. You know, shit that happens in gyms. You know, and that's so shitty. And now that he's leaving, I just hope that Great Falls can retain themselves. Find a new gym, find a good location.
Yeah.
You know, where are your plans on training now?
Yeah, well, right now I'm down at Wolfpack.
You are with Wolfpack?
Yeah. I've been down there. Sean and Dave are fucking awesome.
They are. Dave's a great coach.
And Sean's like, dude's got a heart of gold.
He does.
You know? Yeah, and the gym, they expanded a little bit there.
Yeah, so they took over the other side, right?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little setup.
It is.
Know? You really don't need much. I mean, we need a speed bag in there. You know, is all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm planning on trying to get one of those there for us. But I want to bring everyone together that's involved in the fighting here in Great Falls. We should all be, should be Montana versus everyone.
Should be.
We shouldn't be having all these beefs within each other. I understand we needed to. People need to have beefs for like the Montana fight game. But now that we've all expanded and we're fighting. And we can be fighting. We're all gonna be fighting out of state and all that shit. And
you guys are
out of state guys.
It's gotta
be
us.
It's gonna be us versus them. We gotta be able to travel to these other gyms, here in Montana, and be able to spar with each other and give each other tips. And and like if a guy comes up here from across Montana and doesn't have a corner, they should be comfortable, and know that we got their back.
Just like we saw with Kai Stewart cornering you over in your last fight. Like that was fantastic to see that.
He's a gangster of a corner, man. He's a good dude, man. A lot of people talk shit, but that kid's got heart, and that kid's fucking tough.
He's smart,
he's
too.
Strong as hell, yeah, and he's smart. He's a smart businessman. For sure.
is. I mean, he's selling himself right now. He's on the Montana World Tour.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
he's BKFC champ, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so we have our first champion. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we have tons of potential in you being. You guys are not in the same weight class. Yep. If you guys can collab, like, the potential's there.
Oh yeah, I'm going
absolutely.
For that. Anywhere in between 155 and 175 pounds, everyone is in danger. I know Luis Palomino has the belt for both 155 and 165, and I was not impressed by their...
That last one was horrible.
The crowd was booing him the whole time.
Yeah.
They booed him as worse than they booed me.
Did you hear?
They booed me after I knocked the guy out and everything, but then afterwards I had a lot of people come up to me. You're like, hey, good job, and who was Sky? We wanted him to win and all that.
That's
like,
what
I understand,
happens.
But I'm a nice guy, so everybody likes me.
Yeah, they just lost some money. That's all that was.
Yeah.
They bet on the wrong guy.
They can say I got lucky, and fucking be all right.
We all saw that.
We all know
there ain't no luck in the fight game,
if that ref
man.
would kept it going, I would have just been, kept feeding the dude the right hands.
He was done.
Oh, he was done.
He was absolutely done.
And the commentator said I was pointing at the camera. What it was is, if you see, he was hanging on the ropes.
Yeah.
And he was like, I cracked him a couple times, and he's like sucking on his mouth guard, and I pointed, and I was like, he's holding the ropes, and I was gonna grab him off of there, and he tried to throw a hammer fist at me, and then I cracked him again and bounced him off the ropes, and he fell forward on me, and that was the Rocky moment where we both fell. And then I got up and I pointed, and I was like, he's fucking done.
Hell yeah.
He's done.
Dude, that was the best setup. Just to have a great ending. And I heard you guys were fight of the night, so
that's cool, man. I haven't heard nothing.
I want to see the paycheck come in. So Dave Feldman, let's get this guy paid, man. Like if you guys are gonna put this on the podcast, of your own guys' podcast, let's get him a check. Let's get him a check. Let's get him paid.
Yeah. I guarantee a fight like that every time I step in there. You guys already know, the people that follow me.
Yep.
I go for broke, and I hunt you down.
Absolutely.
I'll hunt you down. I'm a dog in there. And I can take a punch.
That's what that's what the sport was created for. Is for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the guys that want to go in there and they just want to get dirty. You know, because you don't have to have perfect boxing skills.
No.
You really don't.
No, a clinch game will fucking ruin a boxer.
Absolutely, right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know, and just having heart. You know, you can see which guys have heart and which guys don't.
Yep.
You know, and that'll break. Just like you said, coming out in that second round.
Yeah.
He couldn't stare at you.
Yeah.
He was already broke.
He was already broke.
Yeah.
Especially after I got up after he knocked me down too. I bet he put a lot into that. And I could tell the sweat was pouring, but our elevation's a lot higher up here.
It is too.
I could tell. I was just ready. I was getting it.
I can imagine the humidity was probably horrible down there.
Yeah, everything, AC was nice hitting everywhere. And it was the Hard Rock, so that was nice. I can say that the Montana fans are the loudest so far, you know, because I've gone out of state, you know, to Virginia and Florida now, and Montana fans are so loud.
See?
Oh, man.
That's what I love coming here, I think.
I love Montana fans.
And that's one thing I really want to grasp to is I'm really hoping they keep coming back. I know Joe Riggs is leaving.
Yeah.
He fills half the card. I get it.
Yeah, we're trying to get something going at the Adams Center or whatever in Missoula.
Oh, okay.
That's, I can't remember, Field House or whatever.
Yeah, because Sawyer Dupuis over there. Yeah. That'd be great.
And that dude, man, that's gonna be he's a contender for sure.
He's a tough kid.
I could see him knocking out the Juggernaut.
That could happen.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
gets his wind up and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Once he gets, I think like he kind of, because he took a lot of time off, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's the hard part about coming back.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have
well,
that
he came
stamina
back
ready.
though. He already came back. You know,
He did, but I'm just saying, like his actual he used to be able to be. You know what I mean? And his mental game needs to come back from that too. It's just like when you took your time off, it probably broke you a little bit to like think about that fight game. To think about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being in repetition is a huge deal in this game. You got to be fighting, and if you're fighting like every 3 months, your mind is there.
Yeah.
It's ready to fight. You're a dog all the time, just waiting for the leash to be taken off.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a hard thing. Like, you take a couple years off, it's like, oh man, that leash got real long. You know.
Yeah, it depends on how much money you got in the bank.
True, and how much you really need
Yeah,
it.
it's empty pockets make this dog hungry.
That's true.
I get rabid. That's crazy.
I feel you there.
Yeah.
So you were living out of town for a little while here. Are you back in Great Falls?
Yep, living in Great Falls now.
Good.
Yeah, in town.
Nice. So you're gonna be working here, starting your own. Are you gonna start another gym? I saw you had like you were kind of teaching.
Oh yeah, I was
out of
up
town?
in Shelby. I was giving that a shot. I went up there. They needed help up there at that restaurant, you know, and I needed a break from everything. And
Yeah.
you know, my mom sold her house out in Stockton and all that, so I did that for a little bit, and just started taking off again. So it's time to move back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then right now I'm just doing the fighting full time.
Full time.
Yeah.
Good. So you're down at that gym all the time, just cranking it in.
Yeah,
That's
get back
awesome.
in there next week. Yeah.
So we need to get you more sponsors so that you
Yeah,
can get
definitely.
fed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got a family to feed. You know, you still want to get ready for your next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So got to get the management group hollering and hooting and hollering.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
have no real injuries, like you said, a little sore hand, but that'll go away here soon.
shit.
So you'll be fine there. You know.
Yeah.
Give you a tiny little vacation, get you back in there though.
Yeah, not too long. I can put on weight fast.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah,
Especially when you're thinking about
we're from
155.
Montana, we love drinking beer.
Beer and food, man. Like
Yeah.
those are the two things we got here. We get lots of steak, burgers. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
I barbecue every night almost. So
Ooh, yeah.
I feel you. I know exactly what you mean. And you're a cook, so I mean, I can guarantee you're probably eating more than I am, even.
yeah, it tastes good too. I don't trust nobody to cook my steaks.
See?
Honestly, yeah.
That's why you're gonna gain the weight. So we
yeah.
got to keep you off there, keep you in the gym.
Yeah.
So your next one, you thinking 170, 155? Are you ready for a weight cut yet? Are you gonna?
Yeah,
stay
I
in
mean,
that higher weight?
I'm ready. I can make it to. I've never done 155, but after that, that cut to 165 was easy.
Was it?
So easy. I diet down to where I'm only, 7 to 10 pounds away, 10 max.
That's easy.
Waking up 10 pounds away, and then that takes me an hour and a half in a sauna suit.
That's not bad then.
Ain't shit.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So I remember, what was it, Haver? I watched you, and you pulled that muscle.
Yeah. Was that Haver?
Was it? I think it was Haver, right? When you
Yeah,
tore
it
your-
happened a couple times.
Was it a
actually-
torn bicep, or
I
was it
have
just
this-
a muscle?
I have this crazy vein that goes all the way up my arm, right here. And I was thinking maybe it was the bicep, but this, like, see how my arm
weird.
is right there, where it's and like I did bodybuilding and all that shit.
Yeah.
So I'd always do like the supination of the wrist to get that cut, and then that vein would fucking hook on there sometimes and pop, so that vein
So that's
would
what it
fucking
was.
explode, and like, yeah, it was like just like a part of my vein where It was like rock. Oh, it was like rock hard.
It was
too.
insane. I think I was in your corner, and I just remember you throwing the punch, and then I looked, and that thing like was huge. It was like just a big ball. So I was like, oh, he tore his bicep, tore his damn bicep.
Yeah, no, luckily it was just like an imploded vein, so that was
good.
That was good. I did that before. No, and I did that before. I was doing bench press, and it hooked on there once.
And just tore on.
Yeah, like part of it'll like pop, like the whole thing won't break, and it'll knot up real hard.
Yeah, it was
and then
weird.
Eventually heal. But ever since, because I don't lift heavy weights anymore, ever since I started fighting, like my first loss where my arms were just dead. I think it was Aaron Ibanez where he fucking choked me out like a fucking newborn baby could have choked me out. But I was like, I gotta get rid of this muscle, you know. So I've been just working on that, and since my biceps have gotten smaller, it hasn't
done that.
now.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you haven't had any problems with that.
Yeah, and I throw better form on my overhands now too.
Yeah.
Shitty form on the overhands. So
yeah, that's the thing with bigger arms.
Up.
I always laugh when these bodybuilders are like, you know, like, nah, you probably wouldn't last long. You know what I mean? It's really hard to get a choke in. It's really hard to even punch, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a bodybuilding physique. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't help at all.
No.
You know, we got Bradley Martin out there. He's like talking to, I don't know if you're watching the podcasting, but he was talking to Jamonte Davis, you know, and he's like telling Davis, he's like, I'm bigger than you. Like, I would hurt you. Davis like, no, I fuck you up, man. Like, you don't get it. Just because you're big and bodybuilder, I'm going to punch you up before you even get to me. He's like, I'm just going to grab you and put you to the ground. Well, you're not going to be able to actually grab me because I'm going to hit you 50 times before you do.
Yeah, you're going to pop him a couple times and roll out. You know,
exactly.
Unless you really got a hold of him and laid on top of him.
And then maybe, you know what I mean? Get some
I've seen
headbutts
Bradley
in there.
Martin wrestle a little bit. I think he wrestled in high school and shit too.
Yeah, just a little bit. He says,
but,
nothing major, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. You know, like
Jonathan Davis is really small though.
He's very small, and that's what like Bradley's like thing was too. Is like he's really small. If I just got a hold of him, but you got to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
You know, small guys can be pretty manipulative when it comes to like moving around and you know making it hard for you to grab him. And he's gonna hit you a lot, and he hits hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of people forget. Like we saw it with the Garcia fight. The kid does hit hard.
Get you tired, get you breathing hard, and then catch you breathing in that liver.
That's all it takes too. Yeah, just a couple body punches, you know, and then just flip you over and just start nailing you in the side of the head. You know, Bradley can go to sleep. You know, it's just a little guy like that.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was kind of funny. So that's good that you've gotten away from the body physique. You're going into straight fight physique.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting ready for all these fights. Like the best way to do it is just to be in that gym, just to be actually throwing punches, getting punched. I've always noticed that's the actual greatest thing you can have.
There's no exercise or workout like it either.
No.
Like you can try and do a bunch of CrossFit, you know, crazy shit, which will, you know, it'll get your gas up. But then when it comes to like the actual movement and the breathing that goes with fighting, unless you're doing it all the time and sparring and all that, yeah, it's gonna fucking.
It just doesn't make
hard.
sense.
It's tiring, you know. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like just like wrestling.
Yep.
You know, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. You know, so what other? So now that you're over at that gym, what new prospects are we going to see out of this gym? We got, because I know you got Angel Silva.
We're hoping we're gonna get some people from you know, whenever, you know, the Joe's gym's closing down.
Yep.
You know, so we'll see what happens. You know, we got a couple guys over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they're coming over for sure?
Yeah, I know. After Ryan Ibsen's win.
Yeah, that was good.
To get back into it too.
Yeah, I was impressed. He's really, really lanky. And so I thought his opponent was going to go after them ribs.
He kept his cool, too.
He did.
And Dakota's good, too.
I know.
He's a good boxer. I've seen him fuck up some, you know, a couple dudes.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen him fight quite a few.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was impressive. That really was impressive. That kid's a tough kid.
Yeah.
You know, that wasn't just an easy fight for him. You know?
Ryan's my boy, though. He's fucking... I think he's going to do really good in BKFC.
That's awesome.
He's super lanky, too, and he's a good boxer.
He's got that new look too, the long hair.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah,
that's a good look.
Yeah, it is a good look for BKFC.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know, and who else is coming out of there that you think will go to the BKFC? Maybe that we'll see soon.
I don't know. I can't say any names yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just new guys in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll get to see soon then.
Yeah.
That's awesome because I know Angel Silva's in there, Russell Weinholz is in there. Really, two good professional boxers.
Right.
You know, they got really good records. I fought Angel Silva myself, so I know that kid hits hard.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see him in BKFC, but you know, I think as of right now, probably boxing might pay a little better. But
it does.
BKFC pays decent though once you get up there.
Yeah. And it's just getting them few in, you know, and the same thing in the boxing world too. I never got a good payday until I was like in my fourth pro boxing fight is when they actually like, you know, sent me in the mountain. I was like, holy shit! All right, cool. I'll sign right now on a 2-week notice, of course. You know, they pay more on the 2-week notice ones, but but it is what it is. That's how the game works. You know, the fight game's never been easy. You know, unless you have a good manager, which I'm glad you finally found a good manager. You know, and so it's just about finding those right ones that are looking out for you. You know, because like that could have been a really bad setup for you. You know what I mean? That fight was against somebody that was a dog.
Right.
You know?
The only one that really knew what was going to happen was me.
Exactly.
Because no one knows who the fuck I am.
It was
It's about to, though.
It was perfect, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember because the betting odds were all crazy and shit. I threw money on it even. I was like, all right, I got my boy on this one, you know. And so I won money on it. I was happy. You know what I mean? Like you got your win. You got your hopefully KO bonus coming soon, or the fight of the night, whichever one they're gonna give you it for. They should be both the same payday, so you got either one of them.
Yeah, that'd
you
be
know,
nice. Yeah.
On the worst main card I've ever seen on the BK card. Even Dave Feldman himself came out and said that was the worst main event fight that he's put on. That's pretty sad.
Wow.
So maybe we get you in there with Luis and stop his streak. You know? Like he has a weird stance. Have you noticed that? Like the way he fights, it's really awkward.
Yep. I got a super awkward style too, though, and I love my coaches fucking get after me all the time, leave my hands down.
I know.
But I love it because it baits the other fighter in, and that's one of the best knockouts is when you catch them coming in.
Yep.
And and when I move my hand down low like that, at the same time I move over, it gives me more power
for shifting your weight.
on top of it for shifting my weight, and then I can come off of that with an awkward angle where they have no idea where it's coming from.
That's awesome.
That
and it keeps working. So that's the greatest thing that we keep seeing out of that.
Yeah, I'm tightening it up. I know it looks a lot better than it did before.
Yeah. So who do you think you'd be fighting next before Luis Palomino?
Well,
who's in your radar?
I've been wanting, and I told my manager, I've been wanting, Dustin, obviously, because I couldn't, that fight didn't happen. He said he would give it to me,
That's great.
See it happen right there, but then I hear, that I faked my injury and he's nowhere to be found, so we'll see what happens. He's probably scared after seeing me knock dude out.
He hasn't said nothing. I haven't seen that on social media.
But I want big names, I want the biggest names I can get,
That's how you've always been, You've always been in there. You've never fought anybody easy, whether it was an MMA, so.
I'll never take a fight if I know that it's easy.
Yeah, there's no point, right?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't build a name without beating a name.
Yeah, it's just and me too. I don't ever feel like I wouldn't feel good about it in my heart.
Exactly.
Whatever.
No, that's good, man. Like that's a true fighter.
Yeah.
So I respect that from you.
Oh yeah.
So shout outs, like what kind of shout outs you got out there? I know you got some sponsorships. I'd like you to get some time in here.
Yeah, definitely. I got a new one that hopped on was Mountain View Window and Glass there in Cut Bank.
Nice.
And then I got a bunch in Shelby, a bunch of smaller ones. I got the Griddle, Hank's Hardware, Mark's Tire and Alignment. Those guys are all awesome. They always help out the community.
That's cool.
There too, they sponsor everybody, and they're always.
That's cool.
They are a small community, and they give back, and there's actually those the 100-year anniversary fights that are coming up.
Oh, really?
For the 4th of July, the Dempsey Gibbon ones.
Oh, that's right.
They have that
Monty,
Gibbons
right?
grandson boxing in it.
That's Monty putting that one on?
No, it's Joe.
Oh, Joe's putting that on?
Yeah.
Weird. I thought it was Monty.
And what's funny too is like I could have fucked that all up for him because that's where I'm from.
Yep.
And they wanted to go through me. They wanted Joe to do and go through me. But then I just didn't even want to be the middleman or take any percentage because I wanted to just hook it up, And so I just let them have it through them. I could have went through Fusion or Monty, but
that is what it is, man.
Yeah, they like Joe. Yeah.
Any more like family, friends that you want to give a shout out that helped you through this?
Oh yeah, definitely. My girlfriend Angie. You guys want to check out their tattoo shop? That's the best tattoo shop in Great Falls. The Alpha Tattoos and Piercing. They got the taco truck out front all the time now too.
Yeah, I gotta try that out. I still haven't tried that truck out yet.
Yep.
So I'll definitely be peeping in there and at least trying that out.
Yeah, my mom's always got my back. My brothers and all my Montana fans, man. You guys always got my back. And
absolutely.
Wolfpack. My original home team, and I went back to them, and huge shout out to them and Sean and Dave there.
Yep, Sean and Dave, two best coaches that we got in town right now, for sure. They really do care about their fighters. They back you guys. You know what I mean? Like, they're willing to always put their time out there. Like Dave, especially, like, he referees, he coaches. You know what I mean? He also owns a business. So I mean,
his interior custom designs and all that. Yeah.
So he takes a lot of his own personal time to reach out there and make sure you guys are cool. I like that about him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's just always been that guy. Yeah. You know, he's always loved this fight sport. I remember I was the first MMA gym in town to open up, and I brought Dave in. And I was just so impressed with how much he loved the sport. Yeah. That was the thing about Dave. Is like he wasn't at that time. He had never been a fighter that I knew of. You know, he'd done some kickboxing or whatever. You know, his daughters were in kickboxing. I remember that. You know, but he never really fought. You know, I had already had like 30 fights in MMA at this time. You know, when I first gotten with him, and I was like, I don't know. You know, and like, but he had more just go. You know, he just wanted to make sure everything was good, and so I respected that about him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, another shout out to the Infinity Wellness.
Infinity Wellness.
And I know you guys noticed the post that they made about.
Yes, we did.
You know,
they dropped
obviously for certain reasons, and dropped him and picked me up. So here you go, Louis. You can actually say that I stole a sponsor from you now, even though they were already my sponsor before him.
Exactly. So
it don't matter. Hey. You.
And we'll bring Josh on too. We're going to be bringing Josh on again. We brought him on before. Let him speak his own mind on the horror deal. We'll get probably more in depth with that, because when I spoke to Josh on the previous podcast with him, he said that he was going to be taking over the gym and that Louis was going to be running it. I think there's a whole different kind of playbook kind of coming out now. So
yeah,
we'll kind of see how this goes.
Before I ever even said anything about that, he was talking to me that they're telling me, because I can move back to town and I go over there and hang out with him. He was saying that that if he did buy the gym, he was going to get rid of Louis right away. He hates dealing with him and all that shit. And then
he was just saying it for the podcast because Louis was about to fight
and
for
then,
a championship.
Even then, I didn't even tell him about Louis. But it was when I heard Louis start talking shit about me, then I was like, okay.
Yeah, that post went fire, man. And this is about to even get more fire. We're going national now, good luck, buddy. I'm sorry, man, but I have no respect for, I have daughters that age. And so, like, I'll never respect that, nor would I anyway.
Oh, another thing, he was bragging about it, too. He said that she's fucking autistic on top of it.
So, I mean, like, so you not only took advantage of a girl, but you really took advantage of an underage girl. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I've always heard, like, he's never had a good name when it comes to women around town. They've always posted his messages, because he gets 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he gets to writing girls, and they turn him down, and so he starts calling them
and everything else.
Exactly, and then he starts calling them and it just rips on him. And this has been a thing in this town for so long. I know a few of his baby mamas. They get no support from him, even when he gets his payday. Come on, Louis, let's just be honest. You know what I mean? Like, he's not helping the community by any means.
No.
And so I'd either bring up the fighters that are. I mean, this is our chance. This is our chance to reunite. It sold a fight. It did. 2 different gyms, same town. It sold a fight.
Yeah, let's unite now. Let's fucking work together,
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see Great Falls unite, as well as just all Montana. Yeah. We never have to be against each other anymore. We have local events. Leave that to our amateurs.
Yep.
I don't see you guys on this big stage now going back to do little fights. No. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point in it.
No.
Unless it's something to keep you guys active. You know what I mean? And then at that point, it'll be a shake of hand after the fight thing. I don't see the rivalry that we saw with the Kai Stewart and the Louis Lopez. I don't see that ever happening again.
No, I don't see it either. Yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And he hung himself. If anybody wants, go to his Facebook. He posted all the messages even. I mean, like...
Yeah, it's not illegal. Age of consent, 16.
Well, it's wrong, though. It's wrong. Yeah. So, we'll let him hang himself. That's on him, Go back to Helena, boy. I don't know.
Go back to California. That's where he claims he's originally from.
Exactly. So, go do that. I hope his dad's shop still stays okay.
His dad's good shit. His dad will tell you, though, that Louis will walk all over his grave and walk right past his dead body and not even wince.
I mean, he didn't say much about his taco shop opening up. He didn't try to help his dad on that point. No. I mean, there was a few posts here and there that I saw, nothing major. Like, your dad's been struggling, finally got his own restaurant. I would see, like, he would be helping him out, and I didn't see that. So, I don't see a lot of respect out of the guy.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing.
Yeah.
It really is. I always end all these podcasts with, like, a weird fact or a weird thing that's coming up.
Okay.
So, have you heard about the Mark Zuckerberg and the Elon Musk?
I'm excited about that.
Are you?
Yeah.
There's so many different ways about this.
If it's a cage fight, they're just going to get in there and, like, pull guard on each other.
Yep, that's exactly what I said.
Start slapping the shit out of each other.
It's going to be 2 scared guys. being scared in the cage.
Or who knows, man? They might just start banging.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they got.
That would be cool.
We got George St. Pierre supposedly coming in to train. Is it Zuckerberg or is it Elon Musk? I think he's going to Musk.
Yeah.
I think Zuckerberg is going with somebody was. I just saw it today
Shit,
too.
I can't remember.
I know. I'm just really curious who's going to coach him, who's going to be ready, and I hear it's going to be for UFC 300. That's the league.
Cool.
So they get a year to train.
Yeah.
You know, I saw Zuckerberg was out there. He won 2 jiu-jitsu competitions so far.
Zuckerberg looks like he's in better shape, and he's younger.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but Musk is smart, man.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I mean? Like,
they're both smart.
Very smart. But Musk is flying ships to Mars, bro.
He's like an alien.
Yeah, he's alien smart, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I used to see him out there doing some weird alien shit and just pulling it off. I really see him winning it.
Mark Zuckerberg starts floating and explodes.
Yeah, exactly. Like some weird alien shit. I'm just seeing it happen, man. Well, brother, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We're going to get this out there for you. I hope you get way more sponsors because now that you're doing this full time, let's get him some support, guys. Let's get you, you know.
You guys want to check out my Insta? Because I got one there's one that's me and one that's not me. It's James Knucklehead Dennis.
Okay.
And with 1D.
Okay. So that's the one that they want to look out for.
Yeah,
so there's another one out there with Knucklehead also?
It was my old one that got lost. I
Oh.
don't have the password, and it was my old phone. I lost in the fucking
Sucks.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, I wish I could erase that one now. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
I tried to
know how
report
feel.
him, but...
Did you?
Yeah.
Report yourself?
Yeah.
Any more social platforms out there that you're using?
No, that's all I got. Just Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Well, then they know how to get a hold of you. Facebook's probably the most common.
Yep.
They got Instagram. A lot of people are using that. So 2 easy platforms to get a hold of you. So reach out to my boy. Get him some support.
Yeah.
Let's get him back in that ring. Let's get him winning some more. So he needs the support to be there. You know, feed his family as well as, you know, getting him up there. So thank you all for coming down. Please subscribe. Share. Let's get this out there a little bit more. And thank you for coming on the BKB.
Yeah,
Bare Knuckle
welcome, man.
Breakdown, brother.
Appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.